Congratulations, Sorrow Streams. Thank you. Sorrow Streams, thank you so much. Oh, we lose Puggy? Oh. I did share Pro Bowling if anybody's interested. You can check that out. Slick, what's up, baby? Thank you for the 14 months. Welcome in. Glad you made it. Total Travesty, what's up?
I tell you what, I'd let this whole thing go for a slice of that pizza.
Agatul, welcome in. Puggy, what, oh my god, 1 year! 1 year mod! Bitch! Enemy Mouse, Cross, so good to see you all. Bow, baby, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. We'll get started shortly. Ponder, Onyx, good to see you. Welcome in. We're gonna let those ads play out here in just a second. Everybody is locked in, ready. We've got video and voice and everything. I got a promo for you guys, and then we will switch over to the World Builders Summit. Thank you guys so much for being here. Well, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And with that, the ads conclude. Are you guys ready? All right, get your bigs, your hots, your claps, whatever you got. Send it full send. Man, so good to see you. Welcome in. Oh, get your spupas in the chat, Pokey Catch. Here we go. Thank you all for being here again. Very excited for the inaugural showing of the World Builder Summit. Hello? This thing on? Hi, friends. How we doing? How we doing? Welcome. Thank you all for being here. We are in an undisclosed location. um, we've had Sorrow unfortunately is not allowed indoors. He is just outside this vessel, but we've heard everywhere. Yeah, 20 floors below sea level exactly. Um, we're just waiting to see how long it takes. But we've got a wonderful cast, a bunch of lovely guests here today. I want to welcome you all officially to the first ever World Builder Summit. This is something that we've talked about doing for a very long time, and I still cannot believe that we're doing it right now, today, on your screen at home. I'm going to go from left to right and just call out. And if you want to introduce yourself, tell us what world you're from, and give us a little bit of insight into maybe some of your favorite worlds that you like to visit. How about that? Ethan Viz, please. No, no. All right, how about now? Go again. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, do we have audio now? Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. I got it. Chrome, Chrome, Chrome. Yeah, there it is. That's good. It's fixed. He's just doing a little gag, a little bit. Okay. I thought Sorrow was trolling. Can't hear Sorrow. Okay. How about now? No, 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 no. We should be good. I know what it is. It's my fault. Nobody else's. Should be good now. So there's a button that mutes speaker and it helps me, but I think that prevents the chat from being able to hear everybody else. Does that work? Yeah. Is the bit still going on? Shit. So what did I do? How did I? Yeah. It's such a weird way to put it. It's not good. Um, okay. I can hear everybody, but I. Hmm, okay. Yeah. Mine too. Okay. Chrome. Control room. Oh, okay. It is still my fault. So I've got two different browsers open, and then I accidentally switched it to the other browser. Now everybody can
That'll
hear
do
you.
it. Wow.
Now
Check,
everybody's
check,
back
All right,
check.
in,
here we are.
and I can mute again. Yeah, the
Is the
bit is
bit over?
officially
I
over
feel
now.
like we can get another 5 minutes though.
Yeah,
For
I
a
mean,
second,
it's
we had
pretty
all
easy
but
just
Sorrow,
to.
and then that was Sorrow's fault. So we there's a reason he's
I'll,
Damn
outside.
it,
Easy.
Sorrow.
I'll bear this cross.
All right. Thank you all for being patient. We're testing out a lot of new systems here in this place. In this place I have yet to name. Ethan, please regale us
Oh,
again.
hello. Hi, I'm
Hey.
Ethan Viz. When I said my stuff the first time, I said I'm from the neon sock world, and
That's right.
that's true and not what whatever that means.
Hmm.
I love the video games. I like playing in those worlds and spaces, and right now I'm playing through Mina the Hollower and the new 007
Yes.
game,
So good.
and really vastly different approaches to world building, but both really interesting. And Mina is really cool because it's like a top-down Zelda style Game Boy game, like graphically. I didn't know Neon Sock Media were your parents, or do they just keep you in the basement? Both.
Both.
They're both my parents, and they keep me in the basement.
I had to get
Um,
two permission slips from each of
And
them
that's a little world building we're doing right now. That's official lore.
to get Ethan on the show. Thank you so much.
And that-
Puggy.
Hi, I'm Puggy. I like video games. I like movies. I like watching all sorts of stuff and hearing new kinds of stories. I'm really into when a show a show or media property can subvert your expectations by doing something you've never really seen before. That's the kind of shit I get really down with. Do more cool stuff is asking who are your parents and whose basement are you in. My parents are actually Shogundi and CJ Wheelwright, and I have to travel
Holy
in
shit.
between their respective homes and live in their basements.
Yeah. Split custody right now.
There's a tunnel
Yeah,
between the
it's a little. I wish you wouldn't have asked, but I like storytelling in many different forms, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's a good segue over to CJ. Want to introduce yourself?
Oh, is it me?
Sorrow.
Like, it's hard to tell like which direction we're going. Like my left or your left.
We're making it up as we go.
Okay. What world am I from?
Yeah.
A weird world. I like weird stuff. Anything paranormal, supernatural, fantastical. So that
That's a good answer.
spans film, anime, books, all of it. If it's weird and whimsical, I'm in there.
Excellent. Pleasure to have you, Sorrow. If you can hear me way up there.
Yeah, hello. I'm out here in space. I'm Sorrow Streams. I hail from a mythical place called Middle Tennessee. And yeah, I'm a hopper of the Cosmere, world hopper. I enjoy Game of Thrones. I'm a big One Piece fan. Anything with big, expansive worlds that are just deeper than at first glance. I'm also a bit of a dungeon master as well. As most of you know, I've been in a D&D campaign group with Shogundy for nigh on 9 years now, I believe.
There's just I don't even know how it's been that long, but
But it
I'm
has,
so
yet it
curious
is.
about all that.
yeah, we can get into some of that. And right over here to my left, which would be, I guess, be stage right. Would you please introduce yourself, my good friend?
Yeah, I'm Rick. A lot of you may know me from Shogundy's chat as Toad Sparks.
Oh,
I am one half of the multiversal traveling team known as the Casters Guild. We've been doing that podcast for going on 7 years now. I have been a dungeon master and game master for various systems for about 20 years now, building lots of different worlds. The kind of worlds I'd like currently, I'm really into Dungeon Crawler Carl. If you're
Me
not, you
too,
should
dude.
be. Yes. um, I think Star Wars is getting really good again. Anyone who didn't like Mandalorian and Grogu, I don't know what's up with you.
I don't know.
And I understand what the stream is about, so I brought my gummy bears and my chopsticks.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna get this thing started. So
Are they sugar free?
they're not. I'm not as brave as you are, Shogundy.
All right. Well, if you ever crack into a bag of sugar free, just know the record's 40 around here. So
Right.
in one sitting, amazing. Well, thank you guys again for being here.
Sorry, one second. If I may, I didn't say what world I was from.
Yes,
and I
please.
just wanted to get that out there. I'm from the White Castle Dungeon.
Okay. So, in a sense, another basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. The White Castle basement dungeon.
White Castle, the food franchise.
Yes,
That's where my mind went.
Me too.
I'm gonna work on doing shout outs here. So
I've been eating a lot of leftover sliders. Sorry.
Little tiny burgers.
They're really good. Actually, I would destroy a 6-pack of White Castle right now if you put it in front of me. I don't think I could hold back. I don't think I could hold myself back.
Alexa, order White Castle.
Thank you.
Don't
And,
do that.
When the next Builder Summit happens in IRL meet space, we're ordering a Crave case. That's for sure.
At the bowling alley, yes.
Yeah, at the bowling alley.
There you go.
Go and call that a guild decree.
We're also unofficially sponsored by PBA Pro Bowling 2026 today. If you guys saw the pinned message at the top of the stream, Vitamin Pug graced us with the knowledge of pro bowling, and that led to discovering that there is, in fact, a pro bowling game. We may check that out. We may check that world out at another World Builder Summit. But
Customize your own character.
there's so much I feel like we can talk about, and there's a lot to just the phrase world building, as like a concept loosely, that I think so many of us here can talk about or touch upon. I would love to talk about two things that were brought up from the introductions. Mina the Hollower, a game I'm very, very excited about and looking forward to as a Shovel Knight stan, and a yacht, I guess additionally a Yacht Club games stan as well. That game looks amazing. I've also heard so much about Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I feel like I'm just never gonna escape it, and I have to bite the bullet. Let's just
You
No.
have to start it.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I
No, you don't.
literally like 3 days ago DM Shogundy like, have you read this?
and now being brought up again today.
Okay,
Okay, and here it is on the Ethan Viz screen. Okay, so what do I need to know? Like, is it a
Dungeon
series?
Crawler Carl is everything Ready Player One wishes it could have been.
Okay, very good. That's a great sell, because I kind of wish there was something better than Ready Player One. At least I only saw the movies, but
Like all your favorite tropes about RPGs like D&D, and then also video games like you're leveling up, you're having to choose these ridiculous classes, your whole world is a freaking annihilated around you. You have to survive and make alliances, and all while wearing boxers with hearts on them.
Okay. So that's like you can customize your character except you're always in the boxers with hearts. Like that's a through line.
That's true for
Well, the
Carl.
powers, yeah, the powers that be want you to fit the role they want you to fit.
Okay. And that is
Not wear shoes.
Mm.
and no shoes. Okay. I'm
You gotta
writing
be
all
a big dungeon daddy.
I'm writing
I
all of this
didn't-
down.
The Dungeon Crawler Carl role-playing system is currently on Kickstarter too, and has been successfully funded.
Wow.
So
Ooh.
I don't know a lot about Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I know that they released the book on a Game Boy Color cartridge.
they
You
did.
can buy
pretty cool.
the whole book and read it on a Game Boy Color. I don't know who would want to do that necessarily,
Me.
but
That's kind of rad.
Me?
Yeah.
My boy in the-
I feel like Dungeon Crawler Carl is a bit like Elden Ring for me, where I'm like the only one that tried it and did not like it.
Interesting. Well, because
Yeah.
you have, I mean, if you've seen Sorrow's stream, an entire compendium of so many different stories. It sounds like Pug, you've not read it, but we have three
No.
people here who have.
I
have not
haven't
it.
read it yet. I got this for free from my
Oh.
library. There's like it's a lot of just shit that they have that's too much, and I can just take it sometimes, and I
Yeah.
just took this, but I haven't read it yet. My dad really
Interesting.
liked it. He recommended it to me.
Sorrow,
So-
what is there anything in specific you didn't like about it? Like,
Yeah.
why did
Foot
you
fetish.
bounce off?
I got the audiobook. A friend told me that I should check it out. I got the audiobook. I listened to like maybe 3 chapters, and it felt too like I didn't really catch the substance. It kind of just felt like LOL video games. And yeah, it just didn't grab me, unfortunately.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like you have to keep going, but
Yeah.
it does get way deeper
Yeah.
as you get on with the dungeon. Like it does start very surface level, and that's how they're trying to catch everybody is with the surface level stuff. And
Yeah.
like it definitely has undertones and themes.
Yeah.
It is very.
I
Get the
figured
meta
there's-
hooks in you.
Yeah, there's like 13 books. It has to be good, right? Like
There's
I'm definitely
13
not
of them
Well, it
already?
doesn't have
Well,
to be.
There's
I don't
going to be
know.
there's going to be 10. There's
Oh.
currently
Okay.
8.
Okay,
Okay.
I am halfway through.
that's a
book
little
4
bit
right
less
now.
than 13.
Yeah, a little bit less, but
A little
not
less
I was
intimidating.
just guessing. I have no clue how many there are.
Onyx-
There's very anti-capitalist, pro-revolution, like overthrow those who are oppressing you.
Well, it's like an
Yeah.
AI game show thing. Like that's what's going on. Like Carl's trapped in an AI game show.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think yeah, it's very like it kind of felt isekai to me for my anime
Sure.
heads a little bit.
Yeah.
It's also
but-
like that episode of Rick and Morty where they have to do like it's Swifty for like big giant alien heads.
Yeah.
I think for me the main beef I have with it is I've been trying to get people to read the Brandon Sanderson novels because I need somebody to talk to them about. And every
everybody's too
time I
busy with
do-
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, everybody's like, "No, but have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't. You need to check out the thing that I want you to do."
Onyx says it's worth it to see it through to the other books. So it sounds like from Rick, there's this like a little bit of like fan servicey. You got to get through like the boilerplate kind of like catch all intro, but then maybe underneath, and the further you go, because that's the impression that I got from all of these recommendations. Is like there's a lot there to unpack and a lot of really good, juicy world building bits. If you stick with it. I mean, that's how I feel about One Piece, but I know how that is to go to somebody and say, hey, you should watch One Piece, and just drop like a 600-hour saga, worth of episodes or manga, to
That being
read.
said, if you keep pestering us about it like you did me,
Well,
you get it eventually
You get
works.
results.
well, that's
So what? So Momboy asked, which book, which Brandon Sanderson book are you talking about? Do you want people?
Because
Yeah,
there
where
are
do you start with
many.
Brando?
Yeah.
So
Brando
there
Sando.
are right now. There's okay in the Cosmere, which is his like connected world. There are I think 22 books, 22 stories. There's a few jumping off points where basically it takes place on different planets in this like world, right? Um, and yeah, so you can kind of they're all interconnected through like a shared mythos, kind of. But you can kind of start. I would say start with Mistborn, and if you really want to start with his like magnum opus, start with Stormlight Archive, called The Way of Kings. That one's a little bit more, I would say, dense. But Mistborn's really fun, I
I
think.
gotta
And then
inter-
there are a few one-offs if you just want to like dip your toe into one of the books, like Warbreaker.
Warbreaker.
Yeah, stop me because I will continue to talk
I
and
I will briefly stop you and interrupt because I
yeah, please.
failed to acknowledge what Chris Mack has pointed out. It's good to see you. The setup that you see here today, courtesy of our good friend Enemy Mouse, designed
yeah.
and built this whole space in its entirety, and I did spend enough time in the beginning and I guess in rehearsal shouting you out, my friend. But I want to say a big thank you and just an enormous amount of love and respect for what you do for all of us, not just for me, but everywhere, making the spaces for us. This is incredible. Yeah, big shout out, Enemy Mouse. But please continue. So the Brandon Sanderson is his name,
Correct. Yes.
and his book series has how many?
I think there's 23 books or stories, indoor stories.
So this is interesting because I've always struggled with this, and maybe a lot of people know this or don't know this about me, but I traditionally I've really kind of been like averse to reading because I had such a hard time with it growing up in school. But I'm really coming out of my comfort zone and trying to get over my own like insecurity about like reading and reading comprehension just because like I was always forced to do it. So I was like, I don't want to fucking read this book. It's for school. Why would I need to take a book home and read it? And then, come to find out all of my favorite stories and sagas and everything is from books and stories, and I've just always been like a digital medium enjoyer. But for those who have grown up like reading books, and obviously Sorrow, you're on your second read now through all of these stories.
I'm working on my second read through the Cosmere.
Ethan,
But I will say, there's good news because audiobooks exist.
yes, and that was probably my saving grace growing up, was anything that was an audiobook, I had a chance at passing my English lit classes. Uh, Ethan, as well, you work locally at library, is that
Oh
right?
yeah, I work in a library. I don't do book stuff though.
Okay.
I'm a technology desk person.
And so,
But I grew up loving books and reading and well the thing is I have a learning disability that made it hard for me to learn how to read as a kid, and I was very lucky to grow up in a community that had good public schools that had like special needs classes for people that needed a little extra help, and that was huge for me. Like like oh shit. Who did that? I don't have my chat open. Someone's fucking with me. God damn it. Thank you for the follow. If someone just followed, that might have just been just a legit follow. I don't know. I don't have my whatever. I'm not. Anyway, what were we talking about? I like to read. I like
Yeah.
books. It was hard as a kid, but then I read the Captain Underpants books. That helped a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Honestly, like the motivation to play Pokemon was a big catalyst for me to learn how to read properly. So yeah, I don't know. Books, I mean, the thing about books is that, like, you know, digital art is cool, like movies are cool, but even movies are like barely 100 years old. Like books is people been writing stories like since they figured out how to write, and that was a long time ago. So there's so much, there's so many worlds out there, there's so
Yes.
much really good shit. Like part of it is you realize that, like, you know, when you're like an angsty teenager, like there's like a long history of people feeling like shit. There's a long history of people like being lost and like feeling you know, existential feelings. And so there's a lot of comfort in literature. There's a lot to find. So yeah, I love books. I don't know.
You went straight to
Yeah.
it. I mean, that's exactly the point that I wanted to make, was that like we have such an enormous, you know, anthology of so many artists and storytellers and books that like I personally feel uh I feel
Right.
like I am just now in my 30s
Sorry.
trying to get caught up, and there's so many recommendations and so many things, but I think the timelessness of like picking up a book and reading and going off into a different world in your mind is like one of the simplest pleasures available to us. Yeah, I knew it was Chris Mack. I was just waiting for confirmation. Sorrow Stream says Riot Come. I just wanted to point that out.
Nice.
Thank you, Chris Mack, for the 100 bits in my chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Saying right, come.
Yeah. But any other stories or things that come to mind when we're talking about world building and you think of a story? You know, for me, Chris, thank you for the bits. Alerts are off for this. The last book that I actually sat down consciously and like committed to and read was from our last book club, and it was a Vitamin Pug selection.
Oh, Jitterbug Perfume.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that so much more because I think there was a community that gathered around it. Chris, thank you for the 800 bits again. Alerts are off. I don't know what to tell you. It's on the screen. Thank you. Um, are there other stories that come to mind when like we're just talking specifically about sitting down, you know, turning all the screens and all the electronics off and reading a book that is very much like a hallmark of a place that you would love to go to? Like reading takes you there mentally, you are transported. Like what are some stories and things from all of you that you enjoy? Pug as well, if you want to chime in, because you had the last recommendation for me and I loved it.
Are you talking specifically in the realm of books, or?
Yeah, just books, just paper and books.
So interestingly enough, I did do a decent amount of reading as a child, but I had kind of didn't really carry that too much into my young adulthood. I did for my birthday get a Kindle, and I've been using that a lot. And
It's wild
I know
how
that's
the
probably
Kindle can
not for
actually
everyone.
like really help. Like it's
I think for certain people, it can be like a very useful tool. And I didn't really know if I was going to be one of those people, but I think I am one of those people. I like the customizability of it. I like that it's got the backlight. Reading in bed is a breeze. It's really nice. It's really portable. It's nice to have everything there. And also, I will say, if you have any amount of interest in it, the library system for Kindle readers is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Chicago, so I have the Chicago Public Library, which has a pretty big user base, but you can get a lot of books there.
It's so thin too. It's
yeah.
like way easier than chugging around a book like so.
Mm-hmm. I understand people's hesitancy with it, but I've found that like the screen is really nice. Like it does look like paper. I don't know if I have necessarily the best recommendations when it comes to books, in terms of world building, because I do sometimes read in specific realms, sometimes within nonfiction too. But I do like reading books. I've read some books about like the history of building theme parks, because I'm big into that, and that is sort of seeing those behind the scenes stories of people designing something meant to be immersive is kind of, it's weird because it's world building literally, but like they are doing storytelling through the actual physical manifestation. And I know that's not really a recommendation, but that is something that I've read about.
No, I think that's perfect because it is. It's something that, like you said, like it's literal world building in the sense of like you are discovering something and it is something that as you continue to explore it, right, your curiosity kind of takes over. And I feel like that's another something that you could just get lost in for weeks, right? Like learning
Yeah.
about theme parks and how they're built and the structure and the layout. There's someone that I love who's in the Minecraft community called Totally Not Scar, if you're familiar.
Don't know that name, but
All of his Minecraft stuff for the last like probably 10 years has been because of his deep love and appreciation for theme parks.
oh, okay.
And one of the last ones, they all participate in like a yearly, usually annually, but like a yearly group called Hermitcraft. And the one I'll send you videos of his, but like he literally made his own Disney inspired theme park inside of Minecraft. It's like the two worlds colliding. Like
That's sick.
it's amazing. And so yeah, it literally like building worlds, places for people to go and visit and world building, right? Like I think of about authors and storytellers, video game teams, designers, studios that are like solely in charge and like gathering building teams and like creating places for all of us to feel like welcomed in and like the actual concept. Oh, what is this? What have you brought us? Ant kind.
This is Ant. Oh shit. This is Ant. This is
Trying to
Ant
catch your
Kind.
face.
Yeah, yeah. This is the novel by Charlie Kaufman, the filmmaker and screenwriter. He's one of my favorite writers, and he wrote this big chunky novel, and it's about a film critic who watches the best movie ever made, and then immediately after he watches it, the film gets destroyed, and he's the only person that saw it, and he spends the rest of the novel trying to recreate the movie that he
Whoa.
saw.
I feel like there's like a Tenacious D song about that, right?
Yeah, this is not the greatest song in the world. It's just a tribute.
Yes.
I just grabbed
couldn't
like a bunch of stuff off
remember.
my shelf that I really love. So I grabbed, this is Neuromancer by William Gibson, which is like the cyberpunk like book, like the thing that's like literally like
Granddaddy of cyberpunk.
yeah, the granddaddy of it all, like coined the term cyberspace. Like this term cyberspace did not exist before this book.
Whoa.
Love that. I'm a big Haruki Murakami fan. This is Norwegian Wood. This is one of his really good novels. And this is one of my favorite books ever. This is Labyrinth's selected stories and other writings of Jorge Luis Borges, and it's got an introduction by William Gibson. And there's some incredible short stories in here that like have like stuck with me for ever since I read them like 20 years, or I don't know how old I am, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
20 odd years ago.
10 years ago. But that's what I grabbed. Books are good.
Books are
Sugar
good.
D, I do have a question for the cast if you have space.
Well, yeah. What's up?
So I was just curious, if you guys, I'm just curious, what is everybody's like favorite element of world building?
Ooh. I feel like Guildmaster Rick probably has a fair amount to share between
Yeah.
if you also want to follow up and give us a book recommendation, but favorite element as well.
So that favorite element of storytelling can get really difficult, and it goes actually. I'm gonna kind of do the antithesis of the question, because while I am a nerd and a geek, and I have a lot of clout in the space, the one thing that almost gets my nerd card ripped away every time is when I tell people I don't like Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
And then I know, and
Ooh.
everybody's always like, "Why you don't like Lord of the Rings?" And I'm usually stuck in somebody's chat where I cannot chat out an entire rant. So
We've
here
had
you
this
go.
combo,
Here's why
yeah.
I don't like Lord of the Rings. Everybody finally gets to find out, right?
Yeah, floor is yours.
J.R.R. Tolkien had an impossible task in front of him when it came to making me like Lord of the Rings, because he had to invent modern fantasy in order to tell the story that he had to tell. So I love modern fantasy, but it's because I already know what an elf is, and I already know what a dwarf is, and I already know like the struggles of magic and good versus evil and everything like that. But that stuff didn't exist before J.R.R. Tolkien wrote it down on paper. So he had to write 4 books explaining to me what an elf is and what a dwarf is and how the magic system works, which he doesn't explain very well at all. And
There might as well not be a magic system.
right.
Yeah.
So because of that, I can't stand the dictionary readings, the encyclopedia readings. Don't even get me started on the Silmarillion,
Yeah.
which reads like a textbook. And that's why I don't like Lord of the Rings, because people have taken what he created and made way better stories with those elements. And
Name
when
one.
compared to those
Name one better
stories,
story than the Lord of the Rings. Fucking do it right now.
Okay,
Ethan is
not
fired
only
up.
not only will I name a better story than Lord of the Rings, I will name one that most people think is crap, and I still think it's better than Lord of the Rings. And
Finger
that
on
is,
the finger on the
that
button
is
here. Be careful what
the
you say.
Adventures of Dris Duorden
Oh.
are
What was
better.
that?
The Adventures of Dris Duorden. It's a whole bunch of books set in the Forgotten Realms series of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
And honestly, it's kind of a crap story, but it's still better than Lord of the Rings.
Damn.
He didn't have to invent modern fantasy in order to write them.
No, Guildmaster
Uh-oh.
Rick, I think I understand what you're saying, because I imagine it kind of takes you out of it. Like when you're watching your 14th zombie movie, and they're always like, the dead are rising and walking. It's like, come on, guys, everybody knows what a
And
zombie
they gotta
is.
call them
You
like
can say-
freakers, and they won't say the
Yeah.
word zombie.
It's like, you
Twitchers.
can say zombie. Do it, Zombieland, I feel like, was the first one to just be like, yeah, they're zombies. You guys know. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that was like what was
Right.
subversive.
That was
about
a great
movie.
movie.
Yeah, and Zombieland
Len-
is great. Yeah.
Lends to your existing knowledge, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like once again, like if I had been living in like the 50s when those books had been written, and I hadn't already read 100 other modern fantasy stories
Right.
before Lord of the Rings even crossed my path, I probably would have loved it.
Yeah.
You've already got
Right,
like a
that is
sophisticated
interesting.
palate, and you're trying to go back to baby food.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
just
Okay.
didn't
Right.
hit me. And
I
look,
would simply push back against the idea that it is basic in any way. Like Lord of the Rings to me is like a very deep text. Like it's like the thing, like the story itself is like one of the in my opinion, one of the best stories ever told. Like it doesn't get much better than like the small brave person is actually more important than any strong person. Like the very like core of those stories is like deeply resonant, and I think part of what you're pushing back against is that Tolkien really didn't have any interest in the things that you like about fantasy. Like
Sure.
it sounds like you like magic and you like systems, and that's not really what he was doing. He was using it all as metaphor, and he had a pretty huge like environmental message. Like the things that he was using that world to explore were the real, like basically like his trauma from being in the First World War. Like there's a lot going on there beyond this is what an elf is or this is what a dwarf is. The Hobbit stuff, like I don't know, like The Hobbit is like a really fun fantasy novel, but The Lord of the Rings itself is like for serious people, in my
I
opinion.
guess I should rephrase in that, like, I don't think it's a bad story. It's as much as I don't enjoy the way that it's written.
It's
Like,
pretty dry and dense.
and that's what it comes down to, because like when it comes to like environmental stories and like war stories, like I'm a huge Miyazaki fan, and like that's what all of his stories are about, and I love the way that he tells those stories.
Yeah.
Have you read his novel series, the Nausicaa graphic novels?
I started them, but then I wasn't able to get my hands on some of the later ones. So
I got a big omnibus that was the entire thing, and I just read it cover to cover, and it was like one of my favorite things. Yeah, hell
CJ's
yeah,
got it.
it's so good. That's one of my favorite fantasy worlds that exist, is like the world building in Nausicaa.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like that movie
That's
is
some
just
good
like the
shit.
first chapter. Like it really goes off the rails after that, in really fun, crazy ways.
And yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to dunk on J.R.R. Tolkien. I acknowledge that the man's a genius. I acknowledge that the man is a master storyteller. I, credit him for inventing modern fantasy, and a lot of things that I love would not. Dungeons and Dragons wouldn't exist if not for J.R.R. Tolkien. Magic the Gathering wouldn't exist if not for J.R.R. Tolkien.
Right.
But it's just those. If somebody were to ask me, do you want to sit down and watch the extended edition of Lord of the Rings, or do you want to sit down and read these 4 books again? It's just not for me.
Sure. It's
Yeah,
not a.
that's what I
fair.
say. It's not for me because it's
Okay.
not like you're making a judgment. It just doesn't suit your tastes.
Well, they're also they ask a lot. It's not like watching one of those movies is like a small commitment. Even just the movie, that's gonna carve out. You need to carve out 4 hours or whatever. And reading one of those books is way longer. Like those are dense. Like, and the thing about reading The Lord of the Rings is it starts out and you like there's all this setup and you think like a story's gonna happen, and then they spend 3 chapters hanging out with fucking Tom Bombadil, and you have no idea
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on.
There he is.
Look at this fugly cover art.
Our Lord and Savior,
And look,
Tom
another thing is,
Bombadil.
all of you Lord of the Rings fans, if you're like, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, I'm not going to tune into the Casters Guild podcast now. My partner is the biggest Lord of the Rings fan in the world, and he will argue with me about it all day long. So
Yeah, Baron. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so then carrying the question forward to CJ, since you've got the text in question, curious about your favorite elements of storytelling and what draws you into these worlds and books and places.
I think my favorite element, and is also one of the reasons I love Miyazaki so much, is like I love the simple, mundane activities and things that we do in our daily life, like making a cup of tea, working in the garden, walking down the street to the store. Like if you can put yourself in the shoes of that person doing that, that's like such a relatable thing. So you already like have the foundation for that experience. So like you can put yourself in those shoes, and then you start adding in all of this authors or creators, all of their extra special things in their world, and it's just like, oh, I can imagine that,
CJ, are you a JoJo Bizarre Adventure person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My favorite one of those is the Summer in the Small Town, where like so much of it is just like hanging out.
Part 4.
You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about?
Slice of life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that like hit the hardest for me when I went through those.
Sorrow is paid me a kindness before and revitalized my spirit with JoJo's. I fell off for a while, and I more recently now I've like come back to it. It's like, man, I forgot how much I love this thing.
It's so stupid and funny. It's just like so stupid. I can't describe like why it's so funny. It just
Yeah.
is. The overacting really gets me.
It's just unapologetic.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think anything that can just be what it is and not have to like take extra time to explain. There are some really heavy like expository moments, but like I think it's just to get context enough to kind of know what's going on. But I still am left like every episode and every chapter like what the fuck is this story about? Like what is happening at
Yeah.
any given moment?
Why?
It's
Why is this?
yeah,
That's
why is this?
I have such a hard time with Jujutsu Kaisen because it
I
feels
fell
like
off that shit really, really hard.
Me
it
too,
does.
actually.
It feels like expository the anime, and it's like no, I know that like JoJo's has these like sequences in which they talk about their powers and how they interact with whatever, but like 90% of JoJo's is just ass pulls. Like at the end of it, it's just like he pulls something crazy out of his ass and it's fine. Don't worry about it. On to the next. And
There's
that's funny to me. I don't know why.
there's
Oh
also
my
an
god, the
element.
baby's gonna kill him.
It's like word battles. It's like it's literally like when you used to have like imagination fights, like as a kid,
Yes.
and you'd be like, all right, well, you're a fire guy and I shoot water at you, and they're like, well, I used my electric power to electrocute you through the water, and they're like, well, I got I used my ice to freeze the water, and just
Mhm.
and that, but it's that taken to like such a crazy, insane degree.
With like a mature, yeah, touch of like, obviously they're all muscle men and very, just very, just like physically daunting. But then, like, yeah, that's such a great pull, Ethan, because I feel like when you've done those like as kids, that's exactly what it feels like. And then there's also an element that to me feels like stream of consciousness. Like it is just you are in it and following along. Like I am turning the pages as quickly as I can and I'm like absorbing it, but like I have no clue what's going to happen next. Like there's no traditional format or like and now like the hero comes in and saves the day. It's nonsense and like it is what it is. It's unapologetic. A great example of like elements of storytelling and world building where it's just like you never know what to expect. And then we're
I
gonna
love
jump
it.
2 generations and it's none of it's gonna matter. Everything that's happening
Oh,
right
yeah.
now does not matter in the
No,
next saga.
it's all insane. When I think it was part 6 where the main character like falls into a hole and ends up on a plane that crashed 7 years prior and has to stop it. It's like what do we
That's some TC Whetstone shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
of airplane shout out.
I
Honorary
just love it
mention.
when an author writes themselves into a corner, like on purpose, to like force them to come up with something creative, and that's so much what JoJo is like
Yeah.
coming up with like a corner and then figuring out a creative solution out of it. That's part of why I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul so much. Is those shows are so good about
Yeah.
putting their characters in really tricky situations that like seemingly have no solution and then finding the solution. And the trick there is like is finding that solution without breaking your world. And that's
You have to have a
that's so cool.
breadcrumb trail before you get there.
Yeah.
Something kind of interesting on that is I actually just saw something where Vince Gilligan was saying that the tease of the machine gun at the beginning of season 5 of Breaking Bad was not like really fully developed by the end of it. And they decided they were like, okay, we have to pay off the machine gun, which, they do. I thought that was kind of interesting that you're talking about them writing situations where characters are in a corner, but they kind of wrote themselves in a corner as writers with that one, which is kind of interesting.
Famously, George R. R. Martin has written himself into a corner. He talks about being like his form of like world building and storytelling is like gardening, where he just kind of lets the characters do what he thinks they will, and then all of a sudden you're 5 books in and realize, oh, I don't know how to like untangle this mess.
10 years later.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
That's what happened in
sort of thing.
Lost too.
Yeah.
Right.
But they landed that plane.
What if I just hung up on this call right now?
we just closed the laptop for Pug. Just all right.
I'm not a
Uh,
lost sheep, to be clear.
I
Yeah.
will take
enough.
an attempt to end a story than a not at all. And at this point,
Yeah.
I think Ice and Fire is a not at all.
Mm.
Mm.
I like that we've
Yeah.
I like that we've branched out from like traditional book medium to anime to TV show, and we're pulling all these different threads and examples. Myself, as a huge One Piece fan, I think one of my favorite elements of storytelling is like subversion, or when you forget something was put into play chapters and chapters ago. A character was
The
introduced,
art of
or
the callback, baby.
the
I love the
callback.
callback.
And when it hits at the moment when like you are racking your brain as a viewer, or as the reader, as the audience member, and you're trying to figure out like, how is the hero going to overcome this moment? This seems insurmountable. It seems like we've written ourselves into a corner here with no way out, and the callback hits, and it's like, oh, the guy from chapter 5. Oh my God, it's Gaimon. He's stuck in the treasure chest. And there's a whole meme about that guy from
To
One
your
Piece,
point,
but
though, I think One Piece is particularly egregious about that, because
Yes.
they will he will introduce
Yes.
the goofiest looking motherfuckers you've ever seen in your entire life, and not explain it, and then 6 years later it's super relevant.
Yes, or 20 years later in some instances, because
Yeah.
the show's been going on forever. But I really do love that naturally it seems like everybody's got, inspirations, ideas, stories that come to mind, elements that really stand out. And as it relates to what we all do for fun or professionally, or whatever your hobbies and aspirations are, I'm curious, from when you all started your journey between streaming or creating a space that is creative, a podcast, a stream, whatever it is. When you think about world building, and when it comes to like the spaces that you create, I'm curious if there's any relation to like when you started out, were there stories in mind that were like, oh my gosh, I want to have this on my show? Or when I sit down and I start thinking about things to talk about, or, games that I want to play. I mean, are there any like direct through lines to when you started versus like what you do now that you feel like came from your favorite story or your favorite world? That's an open question.
So I'm
Maybe
working
both.
on, a film for the Cartoon Therapy Film Fest right now.
Hmm.
And so I'm like in the middle of building that world for that right
Yeah.
now. And it's it's been really, really fun, because it's like, well, I'm I'm pulling all these different influences and putting them directly into it. But it's also like, as you build the world in order to deliver the thing that you're trying to say. Like I'm trying to imbue the physical things that exist in this world with meaning, so that like the story has like a backbone that makes sense. And that's been a fun journey that I've been going on recently.
If we're gonna take inspirations to the world that we created,
Mhm.
Casters Guild podcast actually started right before the pandemic as a D&D actual play Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And we did 2 or 3 episodes before the pandemic actually hit. And then a bunch of the guys who were on just couldn't do it anymore. But my friend Baron was like, I cannot make it through this pandemic sitting here by myself. I still need to talk to my friends on a weekly basis. It's like, how can we continue this? And I was like, well, let's do a podcast. And if you go back, like I said, we're in season 7 now. If you go back to season 1, season 2, we have a guest on almost every single episode, just because we're pulling in different friends that we have who we just want to talk to
Yeah.
get through that time. And what we were trying to do is recreate that feeling when you were a kid on the playground and you're just talking about all your favorite stuff. And you're like, hey, did you see that newest episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, yeah, did you see Michelangelo did this thing and Donatello did this thing? And that's why we used to pick topics back then. Now we just do news, geek news, whatever's going on in the moment, because you run out of topics eventually. But we used to do, this is the Ghostbusters episode, and this is the video games episode, and this is the Lord of the Rings episode. We've got one where my friend Mary, her name is spelled exactly like the Hobbit, Mary, not like you would expect. And that's how we did Casters Guild for the longest time. We just wanted to stay connected with our friends, and after a while, our friends also have all moved everywhere. So Casters Guild continues to be one of the best ways to make sure that on a weekly basis we still can talk to each other and we have an excuse to do it. And because we have kind of a commitment to do it, like, adult commitments don't get in the way of us making sure that at least once a week we get together and talk to each other.
Yeah. Fostering a communal space for everybody to come and share. And I think a lot of what this segment is based on is very much the same, an opportunity for all of us just to talk and share and connect. And I couldn't really think of a better idea than that when it came to a Worldbuilders summit. Was so many people out here doing the same thing, but just a way to come together and talk and share.
Yeah, I think to your point, COVID was a big catalyst for me as well. I started streaming. I started screaming. No, I started streaming during COVID. But also
Me
I
too,
started,
really.
yeah, I started DMing in COVID as well, and that was kind of like, I wanted to talk to my pals again. I wanted to, just find some outlet for my time. So yeah, COVID in all its awfulness did have some, advantages, I suppose.
I played D&D for the first time over COVID. That was
Yeah.
that was when that happened for me for the first time.
I started getting more involved in Twitch during COVID too. I would stay up way too late watching people on the West Coast streaming, and that was sort of how I got inundated with a lot of communities on Twitch, and then here we are now.
Yep.
I dove deep into the paranormal Twitter scene during COVID. So I was like following John Tenney and all that. That was my window into Twitch because John Tenney showed up on Spectral Sybil.
Oh, wow.
So that's how my worlds collided. Yeah. And then I think whenever I do my stream, like, since I love weird paranormal stuff, I just wanted to find a way to, like, have that, but make it fun and silly. And then
You're really
also,
good
like,
at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
I
was-
try.
I was singing your praises before we were doing mic check and getting the video ninja set up, but your ability to just jump in and creatively just latch onto an idea and create and bring it to life, I think is one of the greatest joys of like doing things like this and collaborating with people.
It's so
just,
crazy hearing you say that. I love it. I appreciate it so much because I used to get in trouble for it.
really.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like you ask CJ for a treat and she bakes you a cake.
Sometimes I don't even ask. Sometimes I go to my inbox or my DMs
I just
and then
shove it at you.
there's
Take
something
my
there.
stuff.
Yeah, there's some delicious treat for me to enjoy. Like, oh,
Yep.
I am just blown away at the ability to do that and like consistently. Like, I think you are always someone who has found ways to create and share, and it's like it's such a privilege and an honor to have everybody here a part of this, because like it's such a tremendous gift, like to be able to create and to do something like put on a stream or record a podcast, or even just go live and like play a game, but like creating a space that people come to and they recognize this is the Vitamin Pug show, this is a Casters Guild podcast, this is a CJ Wheelwright stream. Sorrow, Ethan, like all of you guys have such an amazing gift. And when it comes to world building, I think Mom Boy had a wonderful question. To each of you, I'm curious, when you are enjoying media, or it's a story, or it's a book, or a show, what about those elements, the kind of, we touched about some of them, but what makes it the most believable? Like, what are the qualities that when you were talking a little bit earlier, Ethan, about like when you are in a world, or you're creating something and you want it to be believable, like you want it to feel like it's based in something, like there's a fixed point, and you
Well,
don't
there's
want to break a world.
yeah,
Tell me
there's a
about that.
couple of things. So it's like I like stuff where the rules are consistent and respected,
Hmm.
and that because there's there's an immersive illusion taking place, and I want to feel like I'm actually in it. But more important than that is simply having characters in that world be real people, have an interiority beyond whatever function that they serve in the game or the story or whatever. So like a really good example is, in my opinion, is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time,
Mm,
which is a like when you play that game now, it's very small.
hmm.
Like it's a very small play area. It doesn't, if it was a real place, it wouldn't work like that. But part of the reason the illusion works is the characters are all a little bit deeper than you assume. They all have something going on in their lives beyond the little thing, like their purpose in the video game. They have interpersonal relationships. There's a sense that this world is alive beyond the things that you're seeing from it. And that really is what sells a world to me, is if I can imagine the any of the characters actually living a life,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
just
Right.
being like an amusement park, employee.
They're not
Characters that
a
have
standee.
Yeah.
characters that have done something and have interacted with each other
Yeah.
before, and or like before you've met them, or off screen where you didn't, like, you weren't privy to that and it still happened. I feel like that's incredibly important to keep a world immersive.
I
I
agree.
think I think that the discussion about the callback also kind of helps with some of that stuff. It makes the world feel a little more lived in once, those things that, oh, maybe that was mentioned briefly, but now we're getting to learn a little more about it. Um, and those are the kinds of interactions within media that I really get down on. Uh, this is a little out of the realm of what we've been discussing, but I got really into on cinema at the cinema,
Oh, that's a
which
fucking world.
it's a world and a half, because
Yeah.
it's more than anything I've ever watched, probably the thing that like so often rewards its viewers by paying attention to stuff that seems kind of menial way in the past of the
Yeah.
timeline. And it just constantly is subverting, and it's to those who aren't familiar, On Cinema's a web series show that is sort of a spoof on movie podcasts,
Okay.
where the general gist of it is one host only wants to talk about movies, but doesn't really know that much about movies, and the other one wants to talk about pretty much anything besides movies. Usually, like his weird political platforming, his music, his children that die a lot. It's very complicated, but
What? They die a lot.
R.I.P. Tom Cruise Heidecker.
R.I.P. Tom Cruise Heidecker Jr. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's more than anything I've ever witnessed. It constantly rewards you for being a fan of it. And they've done if you want to talk about world building, like they have separate media franchises that are just spin-offs of this thing that kind of exist on their own.
Well, there's a whole
Um,
movie that isn't even really on cinema branded at all. There's this movie about Tim Heidecker running for San Bernardino
yeah,
City
county
Council
clerk or
or county, yeah,
something.
some menial city like bureaucrat position, and it's the it's the Tim Heidecker character from On Cinema, and Greg like pops up here and
Yeah,
there throughout the movie, but it has nothing to do with movies.
yeah.
It's not about it's about politics. It's like a
Mm.
totally
There's
yeah.
a lot of things tied to On Cinema that if you don't know where they're part of On Cinema, they just kind of come off as these weird, like half-baked, like not funny things, but they all play into this bigger picture. Um,
I mean, there's the trial.
the trial is another. I was thinking about the world building element and this idea of the callback, and there's this ongoing debate in the world of On Cinema where the two hosts argue about the movie Star Trek 4, I think it is, which is the one where they go to San Francisco. And one of them insists that was actually Star Trek 2, and the other one insists that it's Star Trek 4. And then in universe, they have this big trial, and one of them is on the stand, and they're talking about, is Star Trek 2 located in San Francisco? It's
Yeah.
these little moments of like, oh my God, they're really existing in this
Is
space.
that the one with the whales?
Yes, the one, the San
Think it is.
Francisco one is the one with the whales.
Anyway, I don't want to talk too long about On Cinema, but it is something that the world is a staggering, like, enormous monstrosity of just so many twisting paths.
Just the like I just love how it's bled over into the real world because Tim's supposed to be taking over InfoWars, so Alex Jones posted Tim's mugshot from
Yes.
the On Cinema trial as if it was real. Like, this guy killed people. It's
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
it's incredible.
That's insane. I think one thing that I love is revisiting worlds and then
Yeah.
catching little things that you might have missed, before. Like, maybe on your first read or watch through or whatever, you didn't catch little hints and clues to a reveal later on. And then, yeah, like kind of like what you said, Pug, about the callbacks. Like, you realize how many callbacks and like, yeah, I guess like little hints that there are in some stories that fully gloss over until you get the big reveal.
Yeah.
I have a general question, if anybody, if that's all right.
Oh yeah.
To you all, do you have an example of something that did world building in a way you had never seen before, or something that was sort of a game changer for you?
Game changer. I think.
So
Oh, go for
I
it, please.
started playing Dungeons and Dragons on the mess hall of the USS Enterprise, the aircraft carrier. And back then, the dungeon master I had was very by the book. Don't get me wrong, great guy, but he was very much running what was in front of him in the book. The world was already built. He's just running it through us. Then, when I got back from that deployment and I played one of my first games outside of that, that was actually run by the man who is my podcast partner now, Guildmaster Baron. And Guildmaster Baron's style of DMing is very fly by the seat of his pants. He does not write down a single thing before the session. He has no idea where that session is going, but he is going to make sure that we all have a great time and it's going to be a great story. And he improvs it from beginning to end. And experiencing that story changed a lot for me as far as the way I thought I could create things or tell stories from now on, because I was a very planned it out kind of guy. I'm very like, we're going to start with this outline, then we're going to do this first draft from that outline, then we're going to do the second draft where I edited it out and do all that stuff. And now sometimes I'm just like, let's just do a draft. Like, we don't have to do all these outlines. We don't have to write down our list of characters. We don't have to write down the plot points we want to make sure to hit. We can just write and see what comes out. And if it is bad, we can edit it later. But that experiencing those kinds of stories and that type of gameplay for me was very game changing.
That sounds so fun.
That is
But
awesome.
You need a good DM to be able to do that. That's really awesome.
You
Yeah.
kind of learn to stop and smell the roses a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, when I started DMing, I had a tendency to want to like plan everything out. And then I realized that like, oh, you can, but like if your players go left when you plan for them to go right, then you've obviously move whatever encounter or whatever. But like you're doing way more work than you need to. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna like goof around at a locked door for 30 minutes. So you actually
Yeah.
don't need to plan as much as you think you do.
And the beauty of over preparing as a GM, DM is if you spend 30 minutes on the door and you didn't get to the part that you wanted to, you can save it for the next game and kind of
Next week.
expound and trim down some of the other sections.
To kind of answer your question, Pug, I think one of my favorite things about Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere is the timeline is very well done. Because in some of these stories, like you start out in like a medieval age, and then there's like a second era where it's like Victorian, and then later on in the series, the same like planet has become spacefaring. And it's just really cool to watch these worlds evolve that far. You know what I mean? Like from medieval to spacefaring, and yeah, I think that's really cool.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
We've been watching For All Mankind. You know that show on Apple TV? It's a alternate universe space race show where what if Russia got to the moon first in 1969, and that event is the catalyst for America to double down on the space race. And so when they get to the moon, they put a moon base down, and the show keeps every season is another decade advancing. And so like by the time you get to the 90s, we're on Mars.
Yeah.
And it's I love that shit. Just like the way that like kids of characters from seasons ago become main characters, and like legacies get destroyed or built. It's fun.
Yeah. I think that's really cool, especially seeing like what becomes of a character's, like you said, legacy throughout the years. Like, are they completely forgotten? Has like something changed? A prime example in Mistborn, like there's this character that has like a really goofy accent and nobody can really understand it. And then in the like hundreds of years later, that's like the high nobility language.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's just really silly. How does it change?
Well, I think like a huge part of nerdy stuff, people and what like a nerd is when fans of something get like really care about the details, and the people making the stuff also really care about the details, because that's where that stuff exists and lives. That's where the world building really is, and like in thing like that example you just gave is like the perfect example. Because it can be important.
I think that's a really good difference between, like, we talked about magic systems where it's like, the difference between like hard magic and soft, like power systems. And when those, I think you mentioned that it's really fun to watch an author or writer write themselves into a corner and then have to write themselves back out. It's much more, I think, entertaining to do that within a hard magic system.
Absolutely.
Because it's not all, oh, and then they use magic. No, how did they use their magic?
Yeah. Gonna just point out we've probably got about 10 minutes left. If there's any last bits, yes, please, CJ.
Have you seen Project Hail Mary yet?
No.
I loved it.
Oh my god. Okay, the book is awesome, the film is awesome, and the film honors the book very, very, very well.
Could you go grab our
Nice.
Grace?
So like what you guys were talking about, like the details and the way that things are like timelines and stuff like that and legacy. That's
Oh,
like
right.
you guys were talking about all that, and I was like, ooh, that's a good example of that, because I don't want to give anything away or spoil anything, but the way that the story is unveiled to you is non-linear, and like you're kind of remembering as our protagonist is remembering. Oh, you got the thing.
Yeah, it's a 3D print.
Yes.
I did it at work. They actually have this file like on the movie website for free to just like grab and 3D print.
That's cool.
Send it to your local library. They'll probably print it for you.
Nice.
By Andy Weir. Yeah. No kidding.
Thank you.
And the
Oh.
thing I love so much about it was it's definitely subverts your expectations. If you haven't read the book, don't read it before you watch the movie. Watch the movie first. That's the way you should do it, in my opinion.
Really?
It was a great movie. I had such a blast with that. It was so cool.
Ryan Gosling can have chemistry with a brick wall.
Or a brick.
So it just works. Yeah.
I
And
definitely.
One thing I knew I
what
wanted
was
to
really
say before.
No, you're
sorry.
good. Go ahead.
One thing I know I wanted to say before you even come on this World Builder Summit, and I knew I wanted to get it out by the end, is
Yeah.
if you're creating your own world for the first time, don't be afraid to plagiarize. And I mean that 100%. I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you have a story that you like, an anime that you like, something like that, and you're writing a story for a D&D campaign, change some names, change the MacGuffin, change some locations, and use that same story. I mean, Disney built an empire off of plagiarism and writing stories that were,
Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and, like, you look
Kimba, the white lion.
at you look at I was actually going to bring up the Lion King here in a minute, but like, you look at Cinderella, you look at Snow White, you look at, all these early Disney stories. And the last time I told a friend of mine, they're like, what about Lion King? That's not like an old ripped off story. And I was like, it's just Hamlet with lions. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, so, feel free to plagiarize if you need a
Also-
jumping off point for your own first story.
To that point, the pieces of you are going to bleed in, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
will be original. Even if you start with like, oh, it's a satire or like a spoof on Cinderella, like the pieces that are you are going to bleed into what you're creating, and it's going to be different by the end.
Well, yeah,
Just embrace it.
you realize that like, oh, the way that you make something is not the way that anyone else makes something, and your limitations are actually your style.
100%.
I am honestly surprised that through the world building topics, D&D didn't come up more often. I think that was going to be my question for subverting expectations and things that really just surprised me about like what a tabletop experience could be and how much of it was actually some of the best stories and games that we played are taken inspiration from, plagiarized by all of our favorite stories and epics. I think a lot of when I first started streaming, I saw what people were doing and I wanted to create a space that was like a story. There was a beginning, middle, and end. There's like, character development and growth and all of these things. The summit being, again, an opportunity for all of us to come together and talk and share. But I framed it as, people from across the multiverse were sort of pulling you into all of these screens because all of you tell your own stories. All of you are creators, writers, directors, just that are so talented. And I can't go without saying again, thank you for joining me today and being a part of this. I think my last little piece that I'd love to hear from each of you is if you were, let's say, looking at a map of a certain place, of a certain world, what is something, one particular thing that you would want to add, right? And we can just go ahead and say that for the Shogundi Veld, I would love it to have each of you immortalized, have your own little spot in the world. And maybe we can go back there one day and explore, maybe get a little deep dive. But I would love to know if there's one place on our world that you would like to put or claim, plant your flag. I know we do have Casters Guild, and some of you have been on the show before, but just as a small thank you and as a way to build our world further, what is something that I can put on the map for each one of you in any order?
What do you have? What are the ones you've got currently? I know you've got quite a few already there.
Oh, we've got lots of things. Currently, or I would say most recently, we've added a porcelain throne to immortalize the sugar-free gummy bear challenge, which is added to the Kaizo Badlands just a few weeks ago. That popped up. And we have Marwin Stormshell's own research tower from the interview that we did some time ago with Boris Rizzleton. I know we also have Casters Guild Dungeon, which I do want to talk with you a little bit more offline for a future date, Guildmaster Brick. And then tell me Horseshoe Bay, if there's anything up there that maybe we can add for you, Sorrow. But please,
I added Horseshoe Bay. I'd love to see a. I'm thinking maybe like a Valley of Sorrows, right? Where like it's yeah, and it's like a very fertile. Right, it's a very fertile valley where it like rains near constant.
Cool.
Like tears from the clouds. I don't know.
I'm writing all of it down. You got it. CJ, you got something?
I'm looking at your map right now. I got it pulled up. I'm looking at Shogundi
I
Veld.
should look at the map.
Yeah.
So like we got Stormshell Tower, and then down to the left we got the Kaizo Badlands.
Mm-hmm.
We got kind of like a four-way crisscross right there between like those four areas. We got the Slickwall Swamp, Stormshell Tower, Kaizo Badlands. Can we get like a crossroads? Like a I'd have to tinker with the name, I think, but
The Dealer's Crossroads.
Yeah, something like that.
Deal with the devil.
Devil in the details, deal with the devil crossroads.
That's right.
Dealers bargaining, making a deal at the crossroads.
Yeah,
Deal or no deal crossroads.
Double
No
deal,
deal,
2000.
Howie.
Dealer's Crossroads is the note that I have for you, and we can expound
The
upon
Mandel
that.
Crossroads.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
What else?
All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
I would like for you to include for me. I'm gonna leave you the naming rights. I don't. You can do that. I would like a spooky and old lighthouse.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Up on Pride Pug Point, we'll say.
There you go.
There's a spooky and old together. There's two
Spooky and
descriptions.
old, maybe even sort of dilapidated.
Oh, sort of dilapidated. I can put that in there. Sort of.
Just a little.
Sort of. Somebody keeps showing up out there, but it's sort of dilapidated.
People see a little figure in the top there, but they don't. There's
Willem
fences
Dafoe.
around it and shit.
I'm thinking the lighthouse from Annihilation.
Oh.
I'm thinking the lighthouse from the lighthouse.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the lighthouse from BioShock.
There's always a lighthouse.
There's always a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Bioshock
Ethan?
said there's always a lighthouse, and you know what? I agree.
I'm looking at the map. I would like you to put a clock tower somewhere in one of the settlements.
Oh,
Maybe just
yes.
in Shogundiveld,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got to be like a clock tower that has already stopped at like a specific time, implying a past event that I don't want to write right now.
Oh no,
Like a
that's
Back to the Future clock tower.
Yeah, exactly.
beautiful. Yeah, I can
And
see.
the people nearby they're always saying, "Oh yeah, it's 3 o'clock." Because it's
Exactly.
been 3 o'clock for
and
forever.
they don't talk about why. Everyone knows why it stopped, but they don't like to talk about it. It's kind of just an understood thing. Yeah,
It
very
is right twice a day.
yeah, and we celebrate that every day at 3 o'clock and at 3 in the morning. But we don't talk
3
about
o'clock
the 3 in the morning.
somewhere.
Yeah, and beyond the Casters Guild dungeon, Guildmaster Rick, I would love to know if there's anything you would like to add as well.
Up
And
in
I will.
the northwest there, I'm
I'll make it
noticing
so.
some rather bare mountains,
Yes.
and I think some mines could probably go into those mountains.
Oh.
And maybe those mines are made for harvesting magical crystals. So because they're magical crystals, using like traditional mining methods don't always work. So there's a group of bullywugs. If you don't know what a bullywug is, it's like a frog person.
Yeah, I do.
There's a
I do
group
know
of-
bullywugs.
There's a group of bullywugs who've managed to start using electricity to mine the crystals. And so far it has been dubbed the Toad Sparks mines.
Oh.
Ah,
Come
There you
on.
go.
Come on.
Incredible.
I will
That's
make it
world
so.
building.
No,
Yeah, and that's world building. Hear the music. No, that's perfect. I'm just, again, I'm so grateful that we got the chance to do this and that you guys had any amount of time to hang out and just talk with us today. Please give it up for all of our guests from left to right: Ethan Viz, Vitamin Pug, Sorrow Streams, CJ Wheelwright, and Guildmaster Rick of the Casters Guild podcast. Amazing. It went better than I could have ever hoped. And I would love to do this again in any capacity, on or offline. You guys, you know where I'm at. Is there anything else too that you want to shout out? Tell us what's going on, any future events, streams,
I just want
shows?
to say that I respect Rick's opinion about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And
I do
respect
too.
everyone who loves it.
Yeah. Me too.
I just want to
We
say,
still like you.
they play bowling on TV sometimes, and you should go watch some pro bowling every now and again.
Pro Bowling PBA 2026
It's
available
still out there.
now.
Sometimes it's on CBS, sometimes it's on the CW. I don't know if anybody actually buys cable anymore, but you can find it on YouTube too. Bowling, it
Go
still
support your
exists.
local bowling alley.
Yep. We're gonna plug
for
PBA.
Casters Guild's sake, I'd like to say that Origins Game Fair is coming up. And
Yeah.
we cover it as press every year. It's our biggest event every year. So that'll be later this month, and we'll probably have several episodes dedicated to the people that we talk to there.
Awesome.
Some excellent world builders there, basically, who create games, and mostly independent game creators who don't have big publishers behind them. So if you're looking
Super cool.
to have some fun with things outside of the big guys, like outside of D&D, maybe
Always.
look forward to those episodes we got coming up on Origins, and pick up some great games.
You are please more than welcome to share in the Discord as well when you have events and stuff like that. Like, absolutely.
Yes.
Please, I would love to check that out. And I think we can send it off to another very prolific storyteller, world builder. I think we can raid We Are Paragon and call it a day. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say, I'm Sorrow Streams. Don't follow me. Don't watch my streams on Monday and Thursday. I don't want to see you there.
Okay.
And I would like to say,
We've already
follow
banned
He
you.
means
me,
that.
and I do a pretty much weekly music and visual show on Thursdays, unless life stuff gets in the way.
It's very good.
And
It's a
come
good
after
time.
that. And at some point this year, I am going to do a stream where I eat my whole head.
Oh my
So,
God.
tune in for
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about this.
I can't wait to see that.
And if nothing else, I'll go ahead and close it out. We'll play the promo one more time, and we'll swiftly raid over to We Are Pair again. Guys, thank you again. And
Thank you.
Cue the promo.